for the main event. On a beautiful night in downtown Tampa, Florida, Budweiser, the King of Beers, presents USA's Tuesday night fights. Two world-rated junior welterweights, Russian sensation Kostya Tszyu against the flying fists of Hector Lopez. Hector Lopez is coming off a spectacular show with a devastating third-round knockout to win an NABF title. But Lopez would not wear the new belt, testing positive for marijuana, which he now claims has changed his life.
I've been going to church a lot. Believe me, it's helped me a lot. Just to see life differently, you know, put my priorities differently and what I want to do and what I want to accomplish. And I feel that this fight is very important to me because this kid's so highly rated, you know. I just don't know that he can't even go a distance with me because I think I can beat him and stop him, to tell you the truth. But we just got to go out there and fight, take care of business, whatever angle comes about, you know.
Lopez fears no one in the ring, even the newest golden boy, Kostya Czyu. Lopez, also world-ranked, feels he has the edge against the younger fighter.
My experience is going to come in. And even not just that, like I said, if I want to just go out there and just bang with him, we can do that too, and I can beat him at it. I can beat him at any which way he wants to go. If he wants to box, he cannot box me. If he wants to trade, it's okay. But I think that the bottom line is that I'm going to control the fight, and my experience is going to control the fight, and it's going to be set at my tempo. And when I want to pull the cord, I'll pull it.
This is the fighter Hector Lopez is talking about, and many people in the boxing world starting to talk about. Who is Kostya Tszyu? If a Hollywood studio wanted to make a movie about this fighter, it could be called From Russia with Glove. Kostya Tszyu comes to America with international fanfare and an enormous talent. Tampa, Florida is a far cry from his roots. Tszyu was born in the little Russian town called Serov near Siberia. His father made his living ice fishing during the brutal Russian winters. As a young boy, Kostya and his family endured all the hardships associated under the iron clamp of communist rule, like waiting on long food lines, not knowing if food would be available or affordable. As he grew older, he went on to serve in the Russian army, where he also enjoyed certain athletic privileges, showing an affinity towards boxing, demonstrating sensational talent. His fighting skills were first noticed in the recent World Championships and caught the eye of Australian promoter Bill Morty, who brought Tszyu and his family up to a better way of life by moving down under to Australia.
A special athlete will come along, perhaps once in a lifetime. I thought we had it with Jeff Fanning, but now I think we've struck it a double because Kostya Tszyu, I think, will win the world title.
Tszyu felt confident about the move, knowing he would now get the opportunity to showcase his flair in the ring.
If I wasn't sure, I wouldn't have come to Australia. I'm sure that I can be a champion, 100%.
Working with veteran trainer Johnny Lewis, Tszyu is undefeated in his first 10 pro fights, 8 of them by knockout, 7 of those knockouts in the first 2 rounds. His lightning speed and marvelous flair has caught the fancy of the Australian boxing fans and the world sanctioning bodies. The IBF ranks him number 3 in the junior welterweight division. The WBC lists him number 4. His powerful punches are not lost on his respectful but beaten opponents.
I mean, I've been fighting for a while. I've been hit by lots of bigger guys and didn't go anywhere. And this punch, I didn't see it. And that's all she wrote.
Like a cobra.
Like a cobra. Like an elephant. They're heavy. Boom. That's it.
Outside the ring, Tszyu is now living the good life. Food and money no longer a problem for Kostya and his wife Natasha as they adapt to their new living environment. Knowing the importance of speaking the language of their adopted country, the two travel each week to class to increase their vocabulary and proficiency in English.
This is what I do every day.
This is what I do every day.
First I get up about 5 or 6 o'clock.
First I get up at about 5 or 6 o'clock.
In a sport searching for stars with charisma, Tszyu could be boxing's next colorful attraction. Tonight, he's introduced to the American audience. This junior welterweight has the potential to be boxing's biggest little international star.
Taking him from a country where things are very, very tough, and introduce him to the greatest country in the world, and hopefully that the people will support him and get behind him, because I know that he will one day be a credit to our country.
My ambition is with Kostya to take him back to Moscow in the Red Square. 100,000 people watching him become the first Russian to ever win a world professional boxing championship.
So, Sean, why is Kostya Tszyu considered this phenom sensation?
Well, this is a sport, Al, that a lot of people talk, but very few people prove. This is a young man who has already proven, and he hasn't talked at all. What he needs now, though, is exposure and experience. Tonight from Hector Lopez, he'll get the experience, but if this fight goes late, he will, with USA, get the exposure. They're already talking about him fighting for the championship of the world after only 10 fights.
Now watch the entrance of Kostya Tszyu. He always does the high jump over the top rope, and I must say, the ropes are very high here tonight. So we'll see if Kostya Tszyu, he's getting his leverage, taking a look. It's a 2.7 degree difficulty, and he is in. The amazing thing about Kostya Tszyu, not only the fact that he has beaten Juan Laporte in his 4th professional fight, put Bramble down in the first round and beat him in his 10th fight, but I feel the moxie of a guy in just 10 professional fights, even stepping in the ring against such veterans as Laporte and Bramble.
Oh, well, he knows what he can do, and with Johnny Lewis, his trainer, he realizes how important it is to listen to that corner and rely on their experience. Now, this is a man that has grown up around the world, yes, but he is from Russia. He doesn't have any idea who Hector Lopez is. He has done his homework. He studied Hector Lopez, but he doesn't hear the reputation of a Hector Lopez, a Livingstone Bramble, or a Juan Laporte.
Now, Lopez can't believe a kid of 10 professional fights can come in here and outlast his survival instincts.
Yeah, well, he's been in there with a lot of top fighters himself. He's fought for a world championship. This is a man who's got a lot of experience, and he cannot fathom a young kid coming right out of the amateurs into professional boxing and teaching him his game.
He has more experience than tattoos. That's how experienced Hector Lopez is. Let's check out these two fighters on the tail of the tape, and Lopez also thinks that his strength along with the experience will get him by, and as you can see, he is the bigger of the two fighters. The rules here in Florida: no standing 8 count, 3 knockdown rule is in effect. You can be saved by the bell only in the final round, and it's scoring on the 10-point must scoring system. Now, how does the champ set up these two fighters strategically on the blackboard? Let's find out. Champ, give it to us.
Brought to you by Pringles Potato Chips, tonight's boxing blackboard. Kostya Tszyu, don't slug. Use speed first. Make Hector believe he's too slow. And play box in the early rounds. Show us what you have, then power late, Tszyu. While you tell Hector Lopez, each round you stay, Hector, it's gonna cost you. Hector Lopez, you must take this fight and your opponent in the trenches. Slow him down with early body shots. Reach down carefully, but steal his power. Confuse him, Hector. You're the veteran. Push, pull, and punch. Make him work early, so he'll be tired late. Then come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Akery and Alessi Promotions, in association with Budweiser, the undisputed king of beers, presents main event, 10 rounds, junior welterweights. Your judges at ringside are Don Ballas of Clearwater, Florida, of Tampa, Florida, Darrell Brown, and from Leesburg, Florida, Frank Skilbred. Your referee for this event from Tampa, Florida, Brian Gary. Introducing first, in the red corner to my right, wearing the blue trunks with white accessories, black trim. He weighs 142 3/4 pounds. Professional record, 25 victories, 2 defeats, 1 draw. He has 12 knockouts. El Hijo de la República de Mexico, now making his home in Los Angeles, California. He is ranked number 8 in the world by the WBA, number 6 by the WBC. Hector El Torero Lopez. His opponent, wearing the black trunks, white accessories. He weighs 139 1/2 pounds. He is undefeated in 10 professional bouts. He has 8 knockouts. From Sarav, Russia, now making his home in Sydney, Australia. He is ranked number 4 by the WBC, number 3 by the IBF. Here is Konstantin Kostya Tszyu. 10 rounds, junior welterweights.
Come on out, Konstantin. Come on out. Okay, Hector. Gentlemen, I'll be the third man in the ring in charge of the bout at all times. If you score a knockdown, go to the neutral corner. Avoid the use of your head, no rabbit punches, no low blows. Good luck. Come out boxing at the bell. Let's go.
For the first time in his pro career, Kostya Tszyu, hearing the boos from the crowd, gets a hug and a kiss from the veteran trainer, Johnny Lewis, who I guess you would call the Tszyu keeper. And Tszyu, who is on the road. He has 10 victories in 10 fights, 9 of them in Australia. He has a victory here in the U.S. back in January of '93 when he knocked out Steve Larimore in Tennessee in the second round. So he has spent time in the U.S. And, you know, looking at some of the highlights, and you see Tszyu here, especially with the ponytail, a bit of a reminder of Jorge Paez. Has that kind of action style in the ring. And he is going up against a live wire in Hector Lopez. This is a terrific matchup.
Real tough, Hector Lopez. Lopez said, I have so many styles that tonight I think I'll box unless he wants to get busy. Rather stay on the inside and slug, war with his opponent.
Hector Lopez, top rank, number 6 by the WBC, number 8 by the WBA. So a victory over Tszyu also lofts him into a position to be watched by world champions. Julio Cesar Chavez, Charles Murray, and Juan Cochi are the junior welterweight champs across the board. Hector Lopez likes to get inside and likes to wear his opponent down.
He likes to get on the inside, but in doing that, occasionally he will eat some punches. Said he's not afraid to get hit. He's been hit before. He said, I'm a professional. I'll take 2 to give mine 1.
Hector Lopez has a strong chin. He has never been knocked down. And he'll go low if he has to early.
Low blow, however, it was Kostya also pushing over with his left hand. Not all the fault of Lopez.
Tszyu impeccable in his victories over Juan Laporte. Shut him out in the fight, as he did against Livingstone Bramble. He also knocked out former contender Sammy Fuentes in 70 seconds of the first round. So Tszyu has put impressive numbers up there, but tonight he faces his toughest opponent in Hector Lopez. Laporte and Bramble, certainly their best days behind them, but still a fighter of 10 fights or 4 fights when he fought Laporte would very rarely step in against experienced fighters like those two.
Oh, yeah. So the power comes from within. He says, Konstantin Tszyu says, I have great balance inside the ropes. You can't see that. Good movement. He also does a nice little thing. Once you step backwards, he allows for Hector to come in, and then he punches, getting a full extension on his shots. And watch him walk his opponent. You get your opponent out there in the end of your punches, and then you just simply walk around while you're throwing punches. Let him walk into something. You get the angle on him, he doesn't have the angle on you.
And Tszyu has great power, knockout power in both hands. Round 1 comes to a close. Not an empty seat in the house at the Hyatt. And they have come to see this sensation, Kostya Tszyu, and Hector Lopez trying to turn off the lights of the sparkling sensation.
Yeah, Lopez doing a great job moving in and getting downstairs to the body. You have to get your opponent's body, take that body away from him, take his heart away from him, and then he stands and slugs with you, then you can clobber him. The movement is going to give Lopez all kinds of trouble. That angle that Tszyu gets, watch him walk around, that is very pretty. That's very professional. Good, this is what they call ring savvy, ring generalship. You know just where you are in the ring, you know where those ropes are on your back, you know how to move, you step around your opponent, you walk him. I mean, when you think about this kid, this is his 11th professional fight, and he's in there with Hector Lopez.
The 29th professional fight for Hector Lopez. He has fought 211 rounds coming into this fight to 36 by Kostya Tszyu.
Yeah, and Hector Lopez knew that Tszyu was going to come out strong at first. He wanted to be patient at first, be cautious, move in, hands up, put the pressure on, go downstairs to the body, but build up a good long-range fight plan, fight attack. He wants to build it, a slow build, get off of him, no elbowing.
Look at the patience.
You know, and Hector Lopez got to be saying, come on, let's fight.
Yeah, but
let me use the elbows.
Tszyu showing tremendous patience.
Yeah, good. This is ring generalship. Ring savvy. Look at, just move just enough to take the power out of your opponent's punch. You don't move a lot. We didn't get out of the way of that one.
There's that straight right by Lopez, who has 12 knockouts in his 25 victories. He's a LA Olympian back in '88. He represented Mexico in the Olympics and went to the finals before losing to Mauricio Stecca. Silver medal for Hector Lopez. He turned pro with 10 straight victories before losing a 12-rounder in his 11th fight to George Navarro. He would go undefeated in the next 15, including an NABF title against then undefeated 27-0 Donald Stokes. And that lifted Lopez into a world championship fight, and he just shows you his repertoire going behind the back. He might have picked that up from Magic Johnson living in Los Angeles. But Lopez fought Miguel Gonzalez for the WBC lightweight crown. That was back last April. Had Gonzalez in trouble, nearly out early, but Gonzalez came back to win a 12-rounder. And the next fight was the victory over David Santos to win that NABF crown. That was the last fight for Hector Lopez. And he is looking now for a world title fight as a junior welterweight.
Giving more room this round. He said he has a lot of styles. Well, when you're frustrated, you will revert to sometimes dirty tactics. Here it is, going around the back. Kostya Tszyu did not like that. Made him angry. Now, the trainer of Kostya Tszyu, Johnny Lewis, said that Kostya Tszyu's eyes are steely cold. He said a lot like the great Roberto Duran. I mean, when he gets in there and he gets ready to fight, his eyes tell the whole story. He's 100% focused on his opponent. And that is what's happened through 2 rounds of this fight. However, Lopez, got to give him credit, he's put the pressure on. He has changed his styles. He adapted in that second round. And he's tough. Heavy punches. Now you got to go down there to the body. Take the power out of the shots from Tszyu. Tszyu is too hard a hitter to stand there and trade with him. It comes from Savvy. 25-2-1, Hector Lopez.
Lopez wants Tszyu to get into a trade fest.
Good work.
Something like that.
Yeah, right-handed pivot. Very nice work from him. You step around, you get the angle on your opponent. For professional boxers, the fight does not start until 3. You're in the 3rd round, and you see Lopez starting to pick it up a little bit more. Tszyu has to fight back.
Lopez crowding on the ropes, and Tszyu on the break, giving Lopez a little bit of his own medicine.
Really good.
As As a young fighter, Tszyu has been compared to Oscar De La Hoya, of coming out of the Olympics, and where De La Hoya stands in the boxing world as a very young fighter.
And I can see why. Both of them fight a lot alike. They both step around, they both get the angles, both have their hands low, both have good head movement, both great balance.
And both look pretty much like seasoned pros.
Yeah, and both of them still trying to prove in their career that they are the world champions.
Tszyu is 24 years of age. He passed up the Olympics in Barcelona, decided that he actually had accomplished all he could as an amateur and wanted to get into the pro ranks. He had nearly 300 amateur fights, won 279, and lost 11. And those losses were early. He was the 1991 World Amateur Champion. And he is in and out. Closing seconds in round 3. This is scheduled for 10. Budweiser, the King of Beers, presents USA's Tuesday Night Fights. And this is our main event and a marvelous matchup. Two fighters putting it on the line here tonight. Kostya Tszyu, the sensation from Russia, now training and living in Australia. Won his first 10 fights impressively, is already ranked number 3 in the world as a junior welterweight. Hector Lopez, who's ranked as high as number 6 as a junior welter. And he is trying to derail the so-called phenom and put his name into the championship picture. And at the side always of Kostya Tszyu, his lovely wife Natasha, who gets into this fight as she makes her trip over with her husband to the U.S., his first American TV fight, and Natasha's first American TV appearance.
Look at the movement from her. Get out of the way of these punches. You know, this is the movement that Tszyu uses. In boxing, we refer to it as a ball. What you want to do in that ring is you want to spin on your ball. Like, imagine you have a great big basketball in your belly, and you can move on that ball any way that a ball would move. You move your head. That way, you can serve the energy of moving your feet. You just move your head.
One of the terrific things about this matchup, Sean, we've talked about so many times before, we see it so many times, are the good fighters ducking other good fighters. Lopez almost went behind the back.
But then he thought about it.
Again.
You know, you throw these punches, and if you think about where you're going to hit, the opening's gone, even if it's behind your back. If you think about it, you can't do it.
But so many fighters plotting their course, and they get too careful about who they fight. And that actually just shows the lack of confidence in themselves. But here's two fighters in different reasons. You could ask, why are they facing one another, but hats off to them.
Exactly, but I'm telling you right now, Al, it's not the fighters. Fighters will fight any living human being and most animals. It is not the fighters that won't fight, it's the promoters and the managers that won't fight. The fighters will face anybody. It's not up to them, it's up to the promoters and managers.
30 seconds to go in round number 4.
Ooh, good body punch, digging in. Hector Lopez downstairs. Not so much movement this round from Tszyu.
Lopez says if it comes down to strength, he won't push me around. And I'm just going to get in there and counter, pick him apart little by little, and take over later in this fight. It's scheduled for 10. This is round number 5, and they quickly meet in the middle. In the black trunks, 10-0, Kostya Tszyu. And in the blue trunks, 25-2-1, Hector Lopez. Both ranked in the top 10 as junior welterweights. Ooh, good right hand there by Tszyu. Lopez got caught coming in.
Good right hand, and Lopez comes back. Tszyu's punches are on the inside. Lopez trying to go outside. A fight, yes, but a battle of wills, too. Try to impose your will on your opponent. Oh, good combinations upstairs and downstairs from Tszyu. And you got to be careful if you're Lopez. You don't want to stay just at that long distance. 90% of the power of the punch is right on the end. You want to get either all the way in, which he tries to do, or all the way out. You know, and we've seen, remember that second round? Remember when he was moving a little bit more, giving ground? Now he's reverted back to the way Hector Lopez loves to fight. Battle.
And you'll see that a lot from Tszyu, where he carries the hands low and avoids punches just with his head moving.
Yeah, just by you moving his head. You don't have to move your head 8 inches to get out of the way of a punch. You have to move it just enough to take the power out of it, and then you're still in range to score, to counter. Oh, good right hand by Lopez. Now, Lopez is landing in this round. He's landing and he is moving forward, and this is the part of the fight that he was waiting for. Tszyu still stepping around. What Lopez might do is slide his feet over, stop that run, and you gotta corner your man up. Now you slide over with the right foot. See how Tszyu walks around him? Good left hooks. This is a good matchup.
Tszyu off balance for the moment. You don't see that often. And Lopez able to connect. Lopez left scoring on a couple occasions here.
Good work from Lopez, but it is Lopez that sounds like a steam engine in the ring. He is breathing heavy.
Last fight for Lopez was in July. Tszyu's last fight, the victory over Bramble, was in August. So they've each had some time off.
It is harder to knock out those strong opponents that are strong, physically strong like Hector Lopez is. His punches hurt, and you can't, when you connect, they don't wobble. Boom.
Big finish here to round number 5, and we will pause for a word from your local cable systems.
Very good. I get that right, maybe?
Kostya, he's only got a couple of rounds left, mate. He's only got a couple left. Next couple of rounds, plenty of jabbing on him too, Kost. Keep your hands up.
Big round for Hector Lopez. He muscled, he pushed, pulled, he got on the inside, and then boom. Big left hook. Now with those fighters, they keep their hands low like Tszyu does. You keep your hands down by your waist, you try to move your head, you will occasionally get caught.
Little concern in the corner of Kostya Tszyu. Came back to the corner, Johnny Lewis saying, just got a couple of rounds left. Trying to pick up the pace here in the 6th. Lopez certainly picking up the pace.
Yeah, you have to remember that the hand is quicker than the eye. So when you carry your hands low, you got to be able to move your head quick or bring those hands up.
Crafty, hard-nosed Hector Lopez says, I don't care what I hear about Kostya Tszyu. I've got the tools, I've got the experience, I'll be able to handle whatever he throws at me.
And I've never seen him so confident for a fight. We were talking to him yesterday and today. He was like, ready to go, let's go, let's get it on tonight. He was so fired up for this because he believes that Tszyu is just a pumped up publicity machine. But Tszyu, I can tell you, very good fighter. Very pretty to watch. Good-looking young prospect.
You had asked Tszyu about how come you're fighting a guy like Hector Lopez in just your 11th fight, and he kind of gave you a blank stare, and he says, I'm a fighter. You know, I'm a fighter. I'm going to fight.
Yeah, again, it goes back to what we were talking about. He doesn't know who Hector Lopez is. Other than the ratings, he's not, although he did his homework on this fight, he's not impressed with Hector Lopez.
I think he is impressed. He certainly has.
He
has respect going in, but he feels that's his job. He's a fighter.
Right.
I mean, he feels I'm ranked ahead of him.
Yeah, and that is.
But Kostya Tszyu is now bleeding from the mouth. Lopez discounts Tszyu's victory over Bramble. He says Bramble came out just to survive. Anybody could look good if you hit the bag and the bag doesn't hit back. And now the chant from the crowd of Lopez. Lopez, born in Mexico City, moved to LA when he was only 3 years of age. The family moved up there. That's where he grew up. And now finding fans here in Florida.
Oh, yeah, well, they appreciate the fighting that he's putting up. He's fighting him. This is his fight plan. This is what he wanted to do coming into this match, and he is doing it. You know, you lay in bed and you wait for the big night where you're going to fight. You think about what you're going to do. You concentrate. You get your fight plan built up, and then you go in there and you do it. Nice to see.
Welcome back to Tampa, Florida, USA's Tuesday night fights. We head into the 7th round. This appears to be a very close fight. Kostya Tszyu, the Russian sensation, now fighting out of Australia. In the black trunks with a 10-0 record, 8 knockouts. 7 of those had come in the first 2 rounds. Hector Lopez, 25-2-1 with 12 KOs. One of his losses, a world championship fight, and a 12-round loss to Miguel Gonzalez last April for that title.
Yeah, who hurt a happy man in his corner between rounds. Harry Kasanjian said his hands are low, talking about Tszyu. He said he's breathing heavy. Stay on him. Keep the pressure on. Keep hitting him with shots like that. Good punch.
The reflexes of Tszyu slowing down.
Yeah, I go back to the hands low and also the chin up in the air of Tszyu. You want to try to tuck that chin, keep that chin down. Protect it with those shoulders. If you're going to keep your hands down there like that, use them shoulders. Roll around with them.
And even the hand speed you could see here of Tszyu. He is being beaten to the punch by Lopez.
The body shots, they take all the speed out of you. They take the power out of your punch, and they hurt.
Look at right under the left eye of Tszyu. Lopez now bouncing on his toe, feeling more and more confident.
Yep, you can see swelling at the Tszyu.
I got you, Jim, with a punch.
Very close fight. Good matchup. Battle back and forth. I have this scored so far through 6, 3-3. 7th round, but has the tide turned. It was that 4th round that Tszyu had a good round, but then since the 5th round, he's not been very effective. Although he has landed some good heavy blows right at the bell, especially in that 5th round, they could have won in the round. Very close.
Well, he's being beaten to the punch. He's being outboxed.
Yeah.
And he's going up against a guy in Lopez who has never been down in a fight. So this assignment's starting to look pretty tough for Kostya Tszyu.
Well, it could be very costly.
Or something like that. Yep. Jab opening things up for Hector Lopez in this fight.
Now the pot shot's working from Hector Lopez, but he changed his style in this round. Is that going to give Tszyu enough to recuperate? You know, they told Hector Lopez stay on him.
All right.
Very busy in the corner.
Yeah, tell me the truth, mate. It's all right.
Team Tszyu. That is the back of Johnny Lewis.
The next 3 rounds, but mate, you must win them, okay? Don't get hit, mate. Keep your hands up. The water, mate. Plenty of water. Just have a good gargle, mate. Spit it out. Spit it out there. Hey. Vaseline and the mouth guard. Vaseline first.
This is the #1 trainer in Australia, Johnny Lewis. Has had fighters like Jeff Fennick, Jeff Harding, even trained Virgil Hill for a while.
Take the bucket.
He said that Kostya Tszyu does everything he should do right to be a fighter. He said he is the perfect boxer. But the perfect boxer is getting some good pot shots from Hector Lopez, who's shooting the punches from long range.
He has a 5-inch reach advantage, and he is using it effectively. 8th round scheduled, 10-rounder. And the veteran Hector Lopez coming on in the mid-rounds. Kostya Tszyu has explosive hooks, and he may have to pull them out here. His wife, Natasha.
Very worried, and she's getting a good workout over there, too. Worried for good reason. Good movement. How would you like to sit next to her? She's like all night going to be punching your arm, moving over.
Well, she may record a knockout before Kostya does here tonight.
Yeah, there she is. Get the hands up. Oh, that is so hard. Oh, please, she's saying.
Into the pleading mode.
Yeah, oh, that's so hard. You know, in the fight, a boxer gets to release his energy. The wife over in the crowd doesn't get that release. She doesn't get that physical workout. The corner men don't get that release.
And she has also not seen her husband, Kostya Tszyu, in this tough of a fight.
Oh, yeah. Good combination on the inside. Good work. Well, she's doing something right because Tszyu is landing good, clean shots.
Tszyu needs something dramatic to turn this back. And he's trying to open up. He does load up on his shots.
Yeah, but now he has slowed down. And when he's slowed down, he's throwing his punches, but he's ending up so close on his opponent can just grab him, or Tszyu can grab Hector.
And that's what Lopez is doing after
exactly.
each assault.
This comes from fatigue. Hector Lopez is taking a break this round. But inexperience, Konstantin Tszyu is causing this to happen. Good left hook, still has power, still dangerous. That is the thing about fighting a man that is considered a puncher. He can always end the fight, or he can turn the tide of a fight.
Yeah, but he has 8 knockouts in his 10 fights, but none of them have come this late in a fight.
Got the snap on his shots. Wow. That's great. That's great.
I don't know if Natasha thought there would be many nights like this as Hector Lopez taking it to her husband, Kostya Tszyu.
I told you she was getting a good workout over there. Look at her keeping her chin down. She's putting her chin down like she knows Konstantin is supposed to do.
Well, she's fundamentally sound.
And see the clock in her hand, the watch. She's timing these rounds and telling Konstantin when there's 15 seconds left so that Kostya can score and try to win the round. There's a old professional trick. You try to win that last few seconds of the round. Try to win the round, and you also send your opponent back to his corner.
That was a slipper, a push down, but still might be the psychological turn for Tszyu and seeing Lopez drop to the canvas.
Whatever you can do to get your opponent down there to the canvas.
Oh, nice left hand, a jumping left hand by Tszyu. Kostya Tszyu coming in with all the publicity as the phenom, the sensation, 10-0 in 10 pro fights, ranked all the way up at number 3 in the world. But it appears as if he has to pull it out here against the hard-nosed, also top 10 ranked Hector Lopez. Knows all the tricks.
And down again.
Tszyu wants the knockdown.
Yeah, it's a slip. You put your opponent on the canvas. Psychologically, it tells you that between rounds, I overheard Harry Kasserdian in the corner of Lopez saying, go out there and just coast through this round. If you have to lose a round, do it this round. what the old-time veteran trainers tell their fighters, if you're going to coast the next to last round and come on strong in the final round.
But it meant to say you could lose the round, not lose the fight in this round.
Well, I couldn't tell if you were saying coast or Kostya. Kostya this round.
Hector Lopez has had 3 times as many fights as Tszyu, 7 times as many rounds. He has fought a world championship.
And he is definitely taking a break this round. Tszyu is not. Tszyu says, I need this round. Big punches from him this round.
And he already has this round. Tszyu coming on strong here in the 9th.
He may get the knockout. He still has power, Al.
Combination of Lopez taking the round off and Tszyu knowing he has to come on strong the last 2 rounds.
Very powerful young man.
Heads coming together.
That's the heads.
Work your hands, Tszyu.
Final 10 seconds of the 9th round. Tszyu looking to come on strong, even though he appears to have clinched this 9th round. And the drama builds with 9 rounds down, 1 round to go. Let's listen in to the corners.
We've got to win it this round, son. Give us the water. The water. Wait now, Kostya. Spit this out, son. Spit this out. Spit it out. Kostya, we must work under and bring the uppercut. You feeling good? Yeah. Feeling like a champion? You've got to win this round. You're a champion, understand? You know what you are, a champion. Come on, Kostya.
Positive reinforcement.
From a champion, that's all I'm asking from you.
Give your fighter a PMA, a positive mental attitude.
Kostya, we must win this round, mate. You've got him out on his feet.
Final round now, gentlemen. Let's give it a go now.
Kostya, the big right uppercut in close. Jab him hard, mate. Hit the points. We must win the points. Come on, son. Hit him hard underneath, Kostya. Please, mate. I love you, Kostya. Come on, get him up, son.
When you're fighting, you're like thinking, mate, how come you're not getting hit in these punches? I'm getting hit every time, mate.
And you see the crescendo even in the corner. Johnny Lewis, quiet during the early rounds, and he has built it to a feverish pitch and hoping that his fighter picks up on that in that 10th and final round.
Very good.
Well, we said that Kostya Tszyu looks a little like Jorge Paez physically and also stylistically.
His hair.
And the hair. Thank you, champ. And remember the Jorge Paez who came on strong in a fight with Calvin Grove in that final round to pull out a fight and a championship.
Both of them. Both of them heard the same thing from their corners between rounds. You need this round. And I've got the fight scored extremely close, 4-4-1 through 9 rounds.
And Tszyu is now beating Lopez to the punch.
This is the round. You give it everything you got. And it's because Tszyu is on the inside with his punches. Oh, there, Brian Gary gets a shot. Whoops.
There's enough to go around for everybody here in this fight. And Brian getting very careful, breaking up the 2 fighters.
This is it. Both of them know it.
Now Tszyu muscling Lopez. Well, did Lopez take the 9th round off, or has he run out of gas?
Well, remember I told you earlier in the fight, he was breathing extremely heavy.
I'll tell you, Lopez...
Many times when a fighter is so excited about getting in the ring, they leave that energy in the hotel room the day of the fight. He did lay down. He took a nap today. But he was very excited about having this amateur kid come in and fight him, Hector Lopez.
Lopez could run out of gas and still give you another 5 rounds.
There it is, behind the back and in front of the back. No more of that.
You know what? Lopez can't risk getting a point taken away here.
Yeah, but Lopez says, wait a minute, Constantine hit the referee. I should be able to hit behind my back. Has Constantine punched himself out?
Well, he runs into that shot. I kind of wish this was a 12-rounder.
We do. Thank you.
That's right. Down to 35 seconds left in the fight. 2 warriors.
Yeah, good brawl. Tuesday night's all about.
No punch. Step back.
Worth the wait. Final 20 seconds.
No knockdowns in this fight. And there will be no knockouts. And Lopez ends it with a low blow. Wants to make sure there's no finishing flurry by Tszyu.
Yeah.
10 rounds. Action-packed as advertised. And now Kostya Tszyu, for the first time as a pro, heads into his corner wondering if he is still undefeated.
Kostya, let's all settle down. Let's all settle. I want to wipe his face, please. I want the back.
Very good.
Hector Lopez thinks that he has pulled it off. And we will find out when we return for the decision on USA's Tuesday Night Fights. Well, the slate was clean coming into this fight. Checking into then and now, a clean record and a clean face of Kostya Tszyu. But after 10 rounds against the on-charging Hector Lopez, this is what Tszyu looks like after the 30 minutes of action.
Yeah, you can see what caused it. The jabs caused the puffiness on the right side of the face of Tszyu, and the overhand rights caused the puffiness on the left side of the face of Tszyu.
And
he's
Tszyu,
tough, and the crowd appreciates him. Well, some of them do.
Able to smile after the 10 rounds. His toughest fight as a pro. Is he still undefeated? Let's find out. We'll go to Mark Biro for the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Tom Brown scores it 97-94. Judge Don Ballas scores it 99-92. Judge Frank Skilbred scores it 97-93, all to the winner, Konstantin Kostya Tszyu.
Lopez just turns away, 99-92. Wow. And Tszyu hears the boos of some of the crowd, and Lopez wants nothing to do with it, and he exits stage left immediately. Unanimous decision for Kostya Tszyu, 97-94, 97-93, and 99-92. It looked certainly much closer from this angle.
Well, I had it much closer. I had 4-4-1 in rounds. I had the fight extremely close in 97, 94, 99, 92, 97, 93. Judges, all three judges had a wide margin for Konstantin Tszyu.
Natasha saying, I didn't know it was going to be like this.
She didn't know it was going to be that wide either. She must have had it close also.
So Tszyu goes to 11-0, outlasts Hector Lopez in what we have to consider a controversial decision. For the champion, Sean O'Grady, this is Al Albert. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week on USA's Tuesday Night Fights.